Hello, everybody. It's lovely to have you again on this Friday. I hope it's all been good and everybody's well and been a good week for Waiter to Win in terms of what the boys have been landing. Daryl and Darren have studied the Fairview card naturally quite for a long number of hours, as they do every day, because that's the business, right? Is to study. And on Twitter or 4racing.tv or on WhatsApp or channel 240 on DSTV, whichever way you follow us. Hopefully you're getting that information and that you can join us. Well, it's a Fairview card. It's an interesting one. And don't forget that we've got those QR codes for you to use your phone. Take the camera, hold it up to the code, and the bet comes up for you. Once you've registered on Tab 4Racing, at the end of the day, you will ultimately get the bet on quite easily. It's a simple process. It's amazing what digital technology does, Daryl, nowadays.
Yeah, you just can't keep up. My age is showing, Clyde, because I'm even battling to keep up with technology. Yeah, it's all about convenience for the punter.
How convenient is today's card?
It's very tricky, Clyde. If you thought the VAR was difficult yesterday, I think this is tenfold more difficult. Play cautiously, take a percentage of the exotics, and hopefully we can guide you into the winner's enclosure.
Okay, what do we do in the first, Daryl?
Clyde, number 1, Admiral's Chance. Now, I put up a fair debut against winners. Was far from disgraced. Plenty scope for improvement. His danger has to be number 4, then In Focus. Now, he's back on the poly surface, having his peak run, and a pair of blinkers have been fitted. He's the favourite's immediate danger. So, barring the two of them, I think the likes of number 2, Forbidden Beast, will be thereabouts. But I do believe the race lies between the 1 and the 4.
Okay. So Alan Kreeft takes on Gavin Smith out at Fairview. It's a poly meet, the 8 races. Interesting to see how it goes. The market, when we were recording this a couple of days ago, that number 4, then In Focus, was 22-10, and the 1, Admiral's Chance, is currently 33-10. The 7, Glitzer Fox, 33-10. And about 4-1, 5-1, and better the others. It'll give you an idea, of course, as to what the market looks like closer to race time. Check your data, check your scratchings, check your jockey changes. It's very important that you do that. Daryl's got his buy pot up on screen at the moment. Daryl, you're spending 384 Rand.
Yes, Clyde, quite a costly perm, but obviously with fractional betting, you can take a percentage of that. So I'll suggest a full unit for 384 Rand. And please believe me, it is going to pay a good few pound.
Thank you for joining us on Waiter to Win. It's time now for race number 2 on the card out at Fairview. They're racing on the poly. For those of you that have just joined, the first race behind us and the second race we look at now, race number 2 runs at 25 past. The market's got 3-1 the field, about the source Shairani 3-1, and then 7-2 about Captain's Walk, number 1 on the card is the second choice, and 4-1 about 10, the Reflex. You must have a chance here.
Yes, Clyde, the Reflex represents Admiral's Chance's form line. He runs in the first race. Watch how he goes. Fair local debut against winners. I think the hot pace in this race will certainly suit him, Clyde. So expecting him to be doing his best work late. Now, Jairani makes his local debut on the poly track for the first time. He's a very speedy sort. The question mark with regards to his chances has to be the 1300, because he's usually coming up for air over shorter trips. But if he manages to settle and get an easy lead up front, you could fend them off in the straight. And then number 2, Power Surge, Clyde. Went far too quick last time out. Back on the poly track this time around. I'm hoping he can just slot in behind Jairani and relax, Clyde, because I think he's better than his latest start.
Yeah. It's one of the forms that have kind of worked. That will sail away with me. At least came out at 1. I see the rest are, I suppose, suspect.
Yeah, it wasn't a great form line, to be quite honest, but it has been franked with her winning. But it's a tricky event, Clyde.
Tricky. Okay, well, listen, tricky it may be, but Daryl and Darren Waited to Win's boys have been in hot form, so pay attention, guys. Here's the PA. We'll put that up for you. First leg, 1, 3, 5, 9, 10. I know this is Darren Burrows' PA. He's worked on this for us. He's then going to banker number 2 in the next leg of the place accumulator. He believes that that horse, Pleased to Meet You, should at least run a place by 1, 2, 4, 11, by 2, 5, 8, 11, by 5, 10, 12. Banker the 4, that's in the second last leg of the PA, being race number 7. He says that Go Lightly, a PA banker, and at the back 1, 5, 7, and 11. Pleased to Meet You. That's the one that dominates the market in the third race on the card. Currently at 2-1 when we were recording the show for John Nell, and well, Richard Fourie was booked to ride at the time of recording. Second choice, number 3, Regimental, 7-2, and then Tarantino's the third choice at 5-1. No, Darren Burrows is quite big on Pleased to Meet You. Daryl, are you the same?
Yes, Clyde, it's a pinnacle event and he's basically best in, but he has yet to race on the poly track. So let's see how it goes. He's racing against some polytrack specialists over here, Clyde, in the likes of number 8, Blinking, 2 from 3 on the poly, 1 from 1 over the course and distance. He could have benefited from some time off the track. Green Light to Heaven, Clyde. 3 runs of the course and distance for 2 wins and a third. He'll be thereabouts once again. And then Regimental, he's been on the poly track 6 times for 4 victories. The concern with him is the 1300, but he does stay on well in his races, and if he sees out the extra, he'll be right there. But I guess everything hinges on whether Pleased to Meet You will take to the surface, because he is rated to win this event.
It's interesting because, it's always about horses for courses. They tell me Turf and Poly are very similar. So, well, let's see, because ultimately, if they weren't similar, well, then the handicap would have a heck of a job, because he's got to have poly handicap ratings, and then he's got to have ratings for turf. So at the moment, I guess the industry's of the opinion that turf and poly are the same. Well, if that's the case, then Pleased to Meet You is the right one. Let's go and put up our bet and have a look at what we're doing here. We're going trifectas, no pick 6. The boys worked all night trying to put a pick 6 together, and you haven't got enough money, apparently. So 2, 3, 4, we certainly don't. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is what we want to do with race number 3. Okay, well, let's get this jackpot on now. I've been waiting to get this jackpot, race number 4, and it runs at 1:30. In terms of the market, let me go there quickly. It's an early market, so just have a look closer to race time as to what they're betting, but it's 4-1 the field, so anybody can win. Sing Girl Sing is or was the early favourite. Tough race, I would imagine, and I guess, Daryl, you and Darren are gone horses, jackpots.
Very difficult, Clyde.
I mean, you couldn't get work out the pick 6, was it so hard? I would imagine jackpot's just as difficult, right?
These exotics are difficult today. Get a percentage of them and hopefully we can steer you in the right direction. Clyde, shine a light. Now she's back on the poly surface. Have a look at what draws she's been jumping from in the past. She now cracks a draw. She had excuses in her penultimate start, but Clyde, that form line has worked out extremely well. I think with 4 winners from there, and we Dance Buttercup, Gillian Ann, and Miss Venezuela have all won from there. From a good draw, if she's in contention turning for home, I'll make her the filly to beat. And then I think an improved run is expected from number 3 here in after. She's dropped down to a 71. Last time out, she was slow. She showed pace and then faded. I think she's much better than that effort. So in a tricky event, I'm going to tip them 2 from 3. But you know what, Clyde? You want to be loaded.
Yeah, there's a couple in here, I guess, with chances, as you've heard. So let's put this jackpot up now for race number 4. There's the code. Remember to hold your phone up with your camera. The URL will come up, the website. It'll take you straight there. Hopefully, you've already registered with Tab for Racing. And at the end of the day, it takes the bet for you. You just got to take bet when you press on that link, or ultimately you can amend the amount that you want to spend. It's up to you. And as you can see, there are a number of horses in the first leg, second leg, third leg. Hopefully, we're running into the last leg. And at the back, we've got all of 1, 4, 5, and 8. On to race number 5. This is over 1,300 meters, and they bet in this particular race 7-1 the field. How's this race? If you are watching or joined social media, remember that we have got a Twitter account at Weighted to Win. You can follow us on 4racing.tv because we're on a stream there, and you can join us. The show clips are recorded and uploaded to that, and we're on a WhatsApp, so it'd be lovely for you to join us. This particular race is open as it claims to be, just in terms of the reason why. It's a handicap, it's a 78, it's on the poly, and it's over 1,300 meters. I haven't seen them bet 7-1 the field for a long time.
7-1 the field?
Yeah.
Wow. Claude, based on his last run, Alpha Papa should be a 2-1 shot. He ran in a race where he was out at the weights. He ran well above his rating. He's back in a handicap of the same mark, 1 from 1 over the course and distance. If he just reproduces a similar effort to that, he'll take some beating. But he's a 5-year-old and he's not the most consistent nowadays, so that's a major concern. But let's just state this, that if he reproduces that effort, he'll win. And based on that, he should be much shorter in the market.
What do you think the reason would be that Alpha Papa ran that improved race that he did last time? Previously there were a couple of moderate runs. Was there something they added that made him, or was it just an out of unexpected?
I actually don't know, Claude. I'd like to see him confirm that form.
Okay, so he's inconsistent.
Yeah. Al Ramiachi comes back in trip. He cracks a draw this time around. He'll be thereabouts. And then Tuk Tuk Claude, number 15. Now he's only had 2 starts on the surface for a win and a second. He's only got 53.5 to shoulder from a good draw. I'm expecting him to contest the finish. But I'm leaning towards Alpha Papa, 5, 6, and 15 in that order.
Alpha Papa, Daryl says there's value as long as he can confirm that last run. He's worth taking that price if he's still that price when you're watching this show. Let's have a look at what we're going to do with our next jackpot. Well, we're going 2, 5, 6, 8, 11, 13, 15, by 2, 3, 5, 10, 12, by 1, 4, 5, and 8. And then at the back, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 11. Yeah, we're spending 980 Rand, but of course one can spend 98 Rand to get 10%, or you can spend 10 Rand and get a single percent. It's up to you. Just hold your phone up to that code and get the bet on. Race number 6 on the card, a handicap. This is at the 62 level, and fillies and mares. It'll run them over 1,900 meters on the poly. Daryl, tough race.
Very. Claude, leaning towards number 2, La Duchesse, 7 her 65th start, 8 tries over the course and distance for 0 wins, but she did record 3 seconds. So off a mark of 62, I think she could be the joke in the pack of a year and improve on what she's shown
Which is a nice
recently.
price, eh? You've got 15 or 16 to 1 about that horse.
Yeah. Let's hope she runs a decent race for our viewers. Number 3, Grey Princess. A lot of pace last time out over a distance short of her best. This is a more suitable trip. I'm expecting her to be thereabouts. Duchess Bernadette. Claude, everything depends on whether she jumps on terms. If she does, she could make a local winning debut. And then number 10, Emerald Isla. She's down to a 57. She has performed well on the KZN Poly track surface. Let's see how she goes in her local debut.
Okay. Well, we've established it's tough. Duchess Bernadette having her local run out at Fairview. We know that she's been in some decent company. And who knows, Warren Kennedy riding her may well be the one, but Daryl says number 2, La Duchesse, could be the value. We're going to put some swingers, I think. Swingers, or what are we doing? Swingers exactas. What? Swingers? Yeah, swingers. 2, 3, 5, 10, 12, 14. We're boxing those swingers. It's quite a competitive race. We're spending 150 Rand to get it 10 times if you spend that amount. But of course, you can choose whatever amount you want to spend. It's up to you. But those 6 horses in the frame that's on your screen and that you're watching now, we believe the race may well rest between them. Race 7, penultimate race of the day, perhaps the last double of the day. If you want to get into a double, the market's suggesting in this particular race that there's a 14 to 10 shot at the time of recording called Go Lightly, and then it's 6 to 1 bar 1. Agree with the market that early?
Yeah, Go Lightly has been very impressive, Claude, especially on the polytrack surface. 3 from 3. She absolutely bolted up last time out. Clearly on the upgrade. The concern with her, Clyde, is barring Dancing Girl. There have been 8 runners and 7 of them have run unplaced in their next start. So I wouldn't be rushing in to take her current price, but she is certainly the filly to beat. I've got healthy respect for number 8, Ideal Angel. Now, a few things went wrong last time out, Clyde, and she still ran a decent race. This is the perfect track and trip for her. She's got, I think, 53 to shoulder, or 53 and a half. Clyde, a lot in her favour, and she'll be there to pick up the pieces if the favourite does fluff her lines.
Okay. We're not going to leave Ideal Angel out of anything by the sounds of things, despite the fact that we've got this favourite and quite a hottie called Go Lightly. But Ideal Angel is 6-1, the second choice. Just so that you know, the 9 Vision on Ice when we recorded was 6-1 as well. And then Colorado Springs, I think you could have got 7-1 and 10-1 bar those. But is it the 2 horses 4 and 8? Well, let's put our trifecta up. We're going 1, 4, 5, 8. So we've added Colorado Springs in there as well as number 5, Rattle Mouse going in as well. So 1, 4, 5, and 8. On to the 8th and final now, classified stakes, and it's over 1,900 meters. Tell you that if you don't have a card in front of you, that they run this last race at 5 minutes to 4 o'clock in terms of the market. I'll give you an idea what the World Sports Betting guys have got up on their screen. 7-2 about My Boy Reese, number 11. Then you've got 11-2, 5, Jack and Ginger. And then the rest, I think, is 10-1 bar the 2. Perhaps a bit more open than that, or how do you see it?
Another tricky event, Clyde.
Yeah, nice quartet race if you can get it right, eh?
If you can, even if you can get the exacta, I think you'll be smiling. Jack and Ginger, Clyde, since exiting the maiden ranks, he certainly hasn't disgraced himself. He's holding his form well. Last time out, he had to work from a wide draw. Better than that. So he's now more favourably drawn, and I expect him to be thereabouts at the finish. The improver in the race, I think, is certainly number 7, Imperious Duke. Now he steps back up to a more favourable trip. I see him contesting the finish. And then number 1, Almewa, lightly raced, could have more to offer. But Clyde, let's just try catch the exact or even a swinger box over here.
Yeah. What is Darren the same as you? You guys have gone with the same horses, have you?
I think we both agreed on the 5 and the 7.
5 and 7. Jack and Ginger and Imperious Duke. So those are the 2, 5 and 7 from Daryl and Darren's side, but it's open. Let's put that up and see exactly what we mean. Well, there you go. Why don't you use that as a quartet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 11. Use those numbers as a trifecta or a quartet if you want. The guys are saying it's that challenging that you need all of these to even catch the exacta. So don't be too brave. Take the phone up, hold it up against that code, and get that exacta on.